Hello there, this is Dr. Dell. I'm a math guy. You don't know me. And this is my November 30th, 2024. It's my 86th birthday. And I've had a fabulous life. And now I'm trying to help other people have fabulous lives also. And this video is going to be about how a $200 product could help you solve $1 million problem or challenge. So how could that possibly be? Well, there are a couple of ways you might choose to live your life, a couple of paths. Number one, what a lot of people do is they get a job when they become an adult and they work at the job, and it's a job that maybe they enjoy, maybe not, but not particularly thrilled about it, and they're extrinsically motivated to do it. Extrinsically motivated, I mean they do it for a reward, which is their payroll, that what they get paid. And let's suppose that you get to the point where you're working time you're 30 years old at a job and you're making $25 an hour. Now that job at $25 an hour, if you work full time, is about $50,000 a year. So let's just make that assumption. Okay, now here's a problem or a challenge. What if you could find something that you really love to do? It's called intrinsic motivation. You do it because you love to do it. And someone would pay you $50 an hour to do this thing. Now, $50 an hour, if you do the math, is about $100,000 a year. So that's an additional $50,000 to what you might have otherwise been earning on a job you were extrinsically motivated to do. And let's assume, just for the hypothetical, that you lived on the first $50,000 that you were earning, and the second $50,000 now you're earning because you're doing this wonderful thing, you're intrinsically motivated, you save it. And let's say you do this now for age 30 to age 50, for 20 years. So you've been saving $50,000 for 20 years. And I'm not going to factor in inflation and all that now. Let's just assume that things are steady. How much is that? Well, 50,000 times 20 is $1 million. So now, by doing something you're intrinsically motivated over the 20-year period, you saved $1 million. And now you can go off and do other things you're intrinsically motivated to do. Don't pay anything for the rest of your life. It's kind of what I did with my life, by the way. I'm kind of describing, in a sense, my life. And everyone's different. So what does that mean? Well, how is this $200 product I'm telling you about going to help you do this? Well, I'm going to assume that there's something of a technical nature that you would be intrinsically motivated to do, you would like to do. It could be mechanical, it could be hydraulics, fluid power, electronics, computer, working with computers, working with AI, which I call augmented intelligence tools. There's all sorts of things that you might be intrinsically motivated by. Some of the things you're intrinsically motivated by, probably you couldn't make any money doing them, but others you could. So let's suppose you can find something that you're intrinsically motivated by, some technical thing that would let you do what we just described. Well, what is a barrier to most technical fields? And the barrier is two barriers. Number one is you have to know how to usually read a natural language, like, let's say, English, or it could be Spanish or Chinese or whatever, but a natural language. Because you got to read instructions, you got to listen to people, you got to learn, and you got to communicate. Well, most people are learning that now today, and however, whatever kind of school they're going to, whether it's public or homeschool or whatever. But for a technical field, there's another language you have to learn. I call it God's language. It's called mathematics. Now, mathematics is like music. It's a huge field. Nobody knows all the math, just like nobody knows all the natural language. But what you need for a technical field is you need what I call practical math. And here's the good news today. As far as I know, you can't learn this in any school or most online programs, but there is one today where you can learn it, and I'm going to share the screen and show it to you. I'm sharing the screen. And if you go to triadmath.com, this is aimed at students that are going to learn this at home. You're going to learn this mathematics at home. And by the way, anybody can do it. You can be going to a regular private school or a public school, or you can be homeschool. You can do this, but you can learn practical math. And here's how you're going to do it. First of all, what is it? What is practical math? Well, it consists of practical algebra. And believe it or not, there's only 10 lessons. And they're easy to learn. And why they're easy to learn is, first of all, you're going to do all your arithmetic with a scientific calculator. So that's the first thing you're going to learn is you're going to master a scientific calculator. And the one we teach you to master is the TI-30XA. Costs about $10. This is only about 16 tutorial videos with notes and exercises. It's easy to learn. And even if you don't like math, if you're afraid of math, if you struggle with math, this is fun and easy. It's almost like playing a game or a sport. You master the calculator. Now, once you've done that, you can do all your arithmetic with a calculator. No more manual tools for arithmetic. And pre-algebra is just making sure you understand the rules of arithmetic, which you probably already have learned, but let's say you haven't, you learn them. Now, once you have done these two things, you've mastered a scientific calculator and pre-algebra. And by the way, most students, by the time they're 12 years old, 13 years old, can go through these two things in probably about 2 or 3 weeks. There's a total of 26 lessons here between these two things. Master the calculator and pre-algebra, 26 lessons. Each lesson takes about 30 minutes maybe to do it. And you can do it anytime you want to, 24/7. It's all done online. It comes with notes and exercise. Very easy to do. Once you've done it, you learn practical algebra. Now, practical algebra can be used for lots of things, but one of the most important things is practical geometry. And by practical geometry, I don't mean what's normally taught in the high schools. I'm talking about how long is something, what is the area of something, what is the volume of something. And this you use throughout all technical subjects. And you use it in business. You use it in all sorts of things. And there's a problem, though, with algebra and geometry. And by the way, there's only 19 lessons here, and you use the practical algebra and the practical geometry. You learn them, use them together. A lot of fun, very easy. But what they don't let you do is manage angles the way you need to, and you need practical trigonometry. Now, it's only 7 lessons, and then you've mastered practical trig. And again, it's because of the calculator and the other things you've learned already, you can do it. Now, all of this you can learn for most students in about 3 to 4 months. And that's if you're studying an hour a day, 5 days a week. So you don't need to do it weekends or holidays. Do it at your own pace. When I say an hour a day, usually it's 1 or 2 30-minute lessons. They're fun and they're easy. You make a lot of mistakes, but you come back and you redo it, and it's very easy to do. And all of this you can get for $199. So that's why I said for $200. Now, when you've gone through this, you'll know more mathematics than 95% of all the people in the United States today. But more importantly, you'll be ready now to go and start learning any technical subject you want. And the easiest and best way to do that is find someone that's really good at it and ask if you can be their assistant and let them begin to teach you, whatever it might be. And you can try different things. You might try mechanics and don't like it. Well, then try hydraulics, electronics, all sorts of things. And I figure that by the time you're 30 years old, you can have tried several different technical fields. You've gotten good at least one of them. And by that point in time, someone will pay you $50 an hour or more to apply your knowledge of that field. But this is what it takes to get started. Now, I said $200. The facts of the matter are you can even get it for less than $200. If you buy this $200 program, you own it for basically the rest of your life. You can come back and review over and over and over. And that's a wise thing to do because you're gonna learn today, forget tomorrow, come back and review. And it may take you 2 or 3 years before you've truly mastered it because you keep coming back and reviewing. You forget and you come back and you apply it. And then when you apply it, you forgot something. You have to come back. So it's very wise to buy the program, but there is another way to learn it. You can join today what we call the Triad Math Tribe. Now, this will cost you $9 a month if you're less than 18 years old. If you're 18 or older, it's going to cost you 30 a month, but it will let you learn all the math that I've talked about and a lot more. Because the truth of the matter is, this will also be a wonderful a wonderful preparation for more advanced math. Let's say you do decide that you want to go into science and engineering. Well, then there are programs beyond this. We have what I call upper tiers. And these upper tiers, this is a foundation for them. If you're going to go to college, this is the first two tiers of a six-tier program. You're going to go to college, tier three gets you ready for the SAT and the ACT. Going into science engineering, now you go into the upper three tiers, 4, 5, and 6. And that's phenomenal then. You're going to use a whole new tool then for learning this math you need for science and engineering. But let's just get started. Most people, if they're afraid of math, don't even think about science and engineering. Once you learn this practical math, this may open up a whole plethora of opportunities for you that otherwise would have remained shut. Now, this is a rather long video, and I realize that, but I wanted to let you know what it is. And so I highly recommend whoever you are, or if you know someone that's a teenager or a young adult, you have them either go buy the $199 program. By the way, you get to try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, get your money back. Same with joining the tribe. You get to join it, and you probably can learn the practical math in that first 30 days. And if you don't want to stay in it, you can drop out. So in a certain sense, you can get this whole thing for free. Doesn't cost you anything. So just keep that thought in mind. This is Dr. Dale. I hope you can have a life that's as wonderful as mine. I have other videos where I tell you about my many adventures I've had in my life. I call them adventures, things I've done with my life. And math was the empowerment of most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And so I'm sure this will open up a whole plethora of potential adventures for you, intrinsic motivated things you love to do, and a way you can make a really good living. In fact, money will cease to be a problem for you. Once you get good at something and people want to pay you to do it, money is no longer a problem. You make as much as you need and you don't worry about it. I've never had to worry about money. Ever since I was about 17 years old, I've never had to worry about money, ever. And I've made millions and I've invested and lost millions and I've played with it. I've had adventures and I've done all sorts of things. Some adventures can make you millions of dollars. Others can cost you millions. Doesn't matter. I learned long ago that if you live the right kind of life, money will never be a problem for you. You'll never worry about money. You won't even think of it. It's just a tool you use to do things. And but that's it. I've never ever worried about accumulating a lot of money. I've always had all I needed, and I do today. I'm 86 years old, and I don't take any medicine. I'm very healthy. I have no pains or aches. I'm very active, as you can probably tell just hearing me talk to me. Most people don't think I'm 86 years old. I meet a lot of people that are 65 years old that I think are older than I am. I don't believe in retirement, by the way. I think that's nonsense. Always do things you enjoy doing in life. Find things you love. I've changed what I've done about every 2 years of my life as I've gone along. I've never had a regular job. The last job I had was a job that I did for money. Was working on the Pennsylvania Railroad when I was 17 years old. One summer as a carpenter's helper. And it was actually kind of fun, but I didn't want to do it past that summer. And that's the last time I've ever actually had a job per se. Now, I was a professor of mathematics. I have a Ph.D. in math, and I was a professor for 7 years, and I got paid to do it, but I love doing it. I enjoyed it immensely. And like Larry Bird once said when he went to play basketball, he said, I'd have done it for nothing. They paid him a lot of money, because he was really good. And that was what he was intrinsically motivated to do. By the way, I don't say that he needed the math to do that. There's things you don't have to have math for, and that may be all you need. In that case, good luck to you and go find that. Music, for example, or art. I don't know that my practical math would help you in that, but there are thousands of things that it would help you in. And so I encourage you to go and either join the tribe. That's the best way to get started, is join the tribe and start learning it, and then you'll go from there. So this is Craig Hane, or my students call me Dr. Dell, and I appreciate you watching this video. And who knows, if you join the tribe, you're going to see lots of me. In the tribe, by the way, you get a whole bunch of wisdom tools too that have taken me decades to learn and have had a profound impact on my life. I learned them from all kinds of other sources, other people, my own experiences. And the wisdom tools are worth a lot more than the math to most people. So joining the tribe is something I'm sure you'll eventually want to do, no matter what. Okay? Craig Hane, Dr. Dell, have a great life. Bye-bye.